What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hope you like this video. All my social media is in the description box. Now, look, let me say this to you guys. I feel cheated. Okay, this is Being Mary Jane, the series finale. I feel cheated. I feel like they put a whole season into 2 hours. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about this going in because I was like, where the hell did Morris Chestnut come from? Out of all the men that Mary Jane done dated in the 4 or 5 years that this show has been going on, where did Morris Chestnut come from? They could have brought back Amari Hardick. They could have brought back the other guy, the guy whose sperm she froze. They could have brought back the other anchor down in Atlanta that she said was the love of her life. They could have brought back any of these other men. They bring back some dude that we never even met. And from the very beginning, I felt like, okay, he's just a placeholder until Justin get his shit together. Like, did anybody really buy that Morris was the one? Did anybody really buy this whole moment that was supposed to be so climatic of her choosing who she was going to be with? Did anybody ever question that it was going to be Justin? And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't crazy about her and Justin. I never bought the her and Justin love story. I always felt like I never felt the chemistry between her and Justin when the show was going on. But if you giving me the choice between Justin and Morris, it just didn't. Anyway, so for me, so here's the thing, and I'm sure y'all have seen it, but the episode we pick up where we left off with, Michael Ealy on his knee proposing. She just got back from the fertility clinic. Of course, what's the worst case scenario? That she actually got pregnant. She doesn't tell Justin. She fakes the funk for a couple of days until she finds out whether she's pregnant or not. Doing other types of things other than having actual intercourse, because you can't have intercourse because that messes up the insemination. So, of course, she ends up pregnant. So then she has to tell Justin what's up. Justin's thing is, why the hell wouldn't you tell me when I was on my, why wouldn't you tell me that night? Like, I get it that you were in the moment and you want to marry me, and so you said, yes, I'll marry you. But then your very next conversation should have been, and we need to talk. Let me tell you where I just got from, and let's have a conversation about it. I understood where she was coming from in saying, you left me. You left me. I had no expectation that you were coming back. Now, granted, 24 hours, less than 24 hours after he left, you got inseminated. But I think Mary Jane was very clear that she wanted children. Like, that was anybody who dated her knew she wanted a baby. So, okay, I'm going to let you have that one, Miss Mary Jane. But the worst thing that could happen is what happened. She got pregnant. And I shouldn't say it like that because a baby's a blessing. But y'all know what I'm saying. For the storyline. Because had she not gotten pregnant, her and Justin would have rode off into the sunset. And it wouldn't have been a 2-hour show, right? Right. So Justin says, look, basically, you basically put me in a situation where you didn't give me an option. You didn't give me a choice. You didn't give me an option. You made a decision for me. And now I can't do this. I love you, but I can't process this. She, of course, proceeds to have, go through her pregnancy. We fast forward to 7 months later. She's 7 months pregnant now. She runs into an old love of hers from way back in the day, Morris Chestnut. And that proceeded very quickly. I mean, she went from telling him, I'm not interested, to, look, pregnant women have a lot of hormones and I'm horny. Can you hook a sister up? Next thing you know, he her damn wet nurse. It was too much. Had it been a season where we could have seen this relationship progress, maybe the moment at the end where we were trying to figure out who she said yes to would have been a little more climatic. Or climactic, I should say. Climatic sounds different. That sounds like I'm saying something else. Climactic. At the same time, we see Kara. Kara found out she had breast cancer, and she made the decision to have a double mastectomy, which is never an easy decision for a woman. And we saw her processing that, thinking about her children, not wanting to tell her boyfriend, and her and Mary Jane processing through that. The way we bring Justin back into the show is Mary Jane goes into labor. She had preeclampsia, and they had to take the baby. He shows up at the hospital to make sure she's okay, but doesn't want Kara to say anything. He was like, I don't want her to be more upset. I want her to, focus on what she needs to focus on. I just wanted to make sure she was okay. All right, next thing you know, while Kara's out on sick leave, who's taking over as EP for the show? Justin. We found out later on, Kara actually recommended him because Kara was like, look, I don't think y'all love story is done yet. Y'all need to figure this out. I saw how he was at the hospital. Oops, did I forget to tell you he came to the hospital? Oh, yeah. He came to the hospital looking for you. Promised that I wouldn't tell you, but but I didn't tell you, but I finagled this. So in comes the male bravado. Justin and Morris Chestnut, Beauregard. His name was Beauregard. Morris and Beau. And of course they do the whole macho thing where they kind of giving each other the once over and all of that. And then next thing you know, they doing that. What movie was that? That whole scene was out of a movie, out of Love Jones. If y'all are Love Jones aficionado, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. That scene in Love Jones where Bill Bellamy and Larenz Tate are talking about Nia Long. And they're like, yeah, well, she said that, she needed... You know how they was talking. I can't remember the line now, and I don't know why, because I know that movie like the back of my hand. But right now, whoop, it's gone. But they were doing that whole back and forth. Well, yeah, you just a placeholder. I know you know how that feels. Well, da-da-da-da-da. And so then Beauregard gonna say, well, I'm not about this passive-aggressive shit. You started the passive-aggressive. You started it. Talking about some, you just because you wasn't man enough to stick around and be a man. And, Justin was like, for somebody who just met me, you really think you know a lot about me. Well, you wasn't such a bitch. As soon as he said that, I knew, hey, Michael Ealy knocked the shit out of him. And mind you, they were at the job. So, of course, Mary Jane, says to Beau, like, really at my job? Like, this is what you doing at my job? And he was like, he threw the punch at me first. He was like, I'm pretty certain that you said something for him to hit you, which we know, You call a man a bitch, you might as well just be like this, because it's coming. It's coming. I mean, it's coming. So, then that's when Mary Jane finds out that Kara actually set the whole thing up. And she was like, look, Justin loves you. And Mary Jane was like, look, I get that. I don't doubt that he loves me. I absolutely believe that he loves me. But does he want this? It's me. It's a baby now. Does he want this? All right, I'm going to come back to them because I'm going to say that. Okay. So let's get back. Let's go down to Atlanta. Let's catch up with the folks in Atlanta. Okay. Her mama and her daddy, they still tripping. Daddy, well, I ain't say they tripping. Daddy still wants a divorce. He done put the house up for sale. Mama's still trying to ingratiate herself back into the household. And the young brother, the baby boy is back. He's back from Dubai. Niecy is still working at the shop, and she's in hair school. She's almost finished hair school. She gets into a conflict at the shop where somebody stole her client, and she gets upset, and she really feels like the owner of the shop should have her back and not the other person's back. And what the owner of the shop told her was, look, clients jump. Like, nobody stole your client. Your client chose to go to somebody else. It might be frustrating. It might hurt. Might even hurt your little feelings a little bit. But nobody stole your client. So what you need to do is just keep doing what you're doing. You'll keep building up your clientele. At the end of the day, she was like, well, you got me in that little closet in the back. She said, look, if somebody want their hair done, if you lay their hair right, they'll follow you anywhere. And y'all know that's true. Any women listening, y'all know that y'all have gone probably to some crazy places to get y'all hair done before, if it's the right person doing your hair the right way. You'll put up with them stopping to eat a 3-piece meal from the carryout across the street. You'll wait while they on the phone having an argument with their boyfriend. You'll wait while they gotta change their baby diaper. You'll meet them at their auntie house because they ain't pay their booth rent. You know that y'all will go through some stuff if it's the right person laying your hair. So the girl was telling Niecy right. But my frustrating thing with Niecy is, from the very beginning, is once Niecy make up her mind to do something, everybody's supposed to just fall in line. Everybody's supposed to just be like, oh, Niecy's ready now. Okay, yay. Niecy's ready now. Yay. No, boo. Sometimes. So Niecy quits. Next thing you know, she goes to a nonprofit organization to get help writing a business plan. Now, I can respect that. I can respect that Niecy said, look, this is what I want, but I know I don't have the skills to put a plan in place. Because at first I thought she was at the bank trying to ask for some money. And I was like, girl. Now this would have been a perfect situation where if you hadn't blown that settlement money your ass got on whatever all that stuff you did, you'd have had the money in the bank. Like your father tried to tell you to save your money. You'd have had the money in the bank to start your own shit. But okay, it happened, that's water under the bridge. That was 2 seasons ago. So the dude that's helping her write now this is another part that I thought I would have liked to see evolve over a season. We see this guy go from helping her write this business plan to next thing you know they kissing, and I'm assuming that they're in a relationship, but you don't really see it develop because they're rushing. I'm happy to see that Niecy done found somebody that's cool with her having 2 kids and cool with who she is and where she is and all of that. That's great. I love it. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't fleshed out. So when we got to the part where he kissed her and all of that, it was just kind of okay. But baby boy told mama, look, stop looking thirsty. Because as long as you looking thirsty, daddy ain't paying you no attention. And I want y'all to get back together. And I done cheated on enough women to know that I don't really pay them no attention until it looked like they ain't paying me no attention. So what you need to do, start ignoring daddy. Start ignoring him. Pretend like you ain't tripping. Because that's when he gonna be wanting you. That's when he gonna come around sniffing. But as long as you looking thirsty, he gonna feel like he got the upper hand. And that's gonna be that. But then the boys sort of have an intervention with the father to say, look, we know you still love mom and stop tripping. Like, before this divorce is final, we want you to stop, take a breath, relax, rewind before you go too far. Like, we know you hurt. We know that she did what she did. They said, but at the end, again, baby boy told me something. Look, I've cheated on enough women to know that it takes 3 to have an affair. So what you got to do is ask yourself, what did you do to contribute to her wanting to step out? And then they addressed the whole who the oldest son's father really was. And he was like, look, man, that dude is a non-fact. I've heard from him twice. Since I found out he was my biological father, I've heard from him twice. Christmas and my birthday. And mom probably reminded him of both. I ain't tripping off of him. You my father. So we see where he does end up selling the house, but he sells the house to baby boy. Because baby boy was like, I'm back from Dubai. I'm ready to buy a house. And he was like, I wasn't ready to see the house. Go to somebody else. So here I am. Boom. Cool. And what happened was everybody comes together for Niecy's graduation from hair school. And that's when she presents her business plan and says basically she wants $50,000 to start her own business. And I think that Mary Jane brought us some valid points. They were like, look, we think this is a great plan. It's very well presented. It's very well developed. However, you ain't even had your license. Like they said, the ink on your diploma ain't even dry yet. You have clients, but can you sustain enough clients to sustain a business? And I've seen a lot of my friends open up businesses straight out of cosmetology school or nail school, whatever. And it's a lot more to it than just doing hair all day. A business is a lot more to run than you just running your booth. And so Mary Jane was like, look, why don't you go back to the spot, get your job back, run your booth for 2 years, build your clientele, and then we'll revisit it. I thought that was a valid point. I thought that was a good idea. Of course, Niecy was like, y'all just don't believe in me. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. I got to support my kids. I can't keep waiting. Okay, but what happens if you take that $50,000 and then the business is closed in a year and you're right back where you started? You still going to be looking at somebody to run a booth. But what they ended up doing, they sort of met somewhere in the middle. They took a room in the house and turned it into a salon, which I think is a great idea. Somebody I used to go to, her basement was her salon, and her father had done that for her, and it was a cool spot. You know what I'm saying? It was a nice spot. Get your hair done and all that good stuff. And so I thought that was a really good compromise. And in 2 years or whenever, when she builds up her clientele and she can prove that she can sustain it, then they probably will support her and expand it. It wasn't that they didn't want to see her succeed. It was they understand how hard a business is, and it's not just what you want to do. And then that's when we saw her and the dude, he went to go comfort her and they kissed. And like I said, they didn't have sex or anything. He ended up spending the night, but they fell asleep. It was legit. But again, it just wasn't fleshed out. But I get it. They were just trying to get it all in. So, back to Mary Jane. All right. Mary Jane, after Bo tells her, look, After he have the fight with Justin, Bo tells her, look, it's going to be me or you. I mean, it's going to be me or him. And when you figure out who you want, you come and see me. So that's when she goes to visit Kara. Kara tells her, look, Justin still loves you. He came to see you at the hospital, blah, blah, blah. I already told y'all that. So she goes to find Justin. Remember Justin bought that house out in Connecticut last year when he finally decided to spend some of that money he had inherited from his ex-wife. So Justin is out there. She takes a car service out there. And they talk, and of course, she says, well, why do you love me? Why did you want to marry me? And they get to talking. Next thing you know, they having sex, honey. Then the nurse calls and says, look, I got to go. My father got into an accident. The baby's colicky. I need you to get here. So, of course, Justin takes her home. The baby's colicky. But she tells her nurse, you go ahead and go. I got this. I got this. And they do the shower check. With colicky babies, you never know. Sometimes it's a car ride, whatever. So, of course, they're bonding. And you can see that he's bonding with that baby. You can see that he's falling in love with the baby. You really can see it. She goes to make a bottle, and while she go to make a bottle, there's a knock at the door. Now, you know who it is. You know it's Bo. First of all, Bo, what the hell you doing knocking on her door in the middle of the night? You know you got a baby. And he was banging on the door. So my thing was, that was disrespectful. You know you got this baby and this baby sleep. That was disrespectful as fuck. Anyway, she opens the door, and of course he comes rushing in, talking about how much he loves her and he want to be with her, and he's so sorry he was tripping. And of course, next thing you know, he gets on one knee and he proposes. Here comes Justin from the back with holding the baby. Honey. Next thing you know, we at the wedding. We see her walking down the aisle. Who meets her at the top of the aisle? Justin. Again, who was surprised? I wasn't surprised. What I was surprised, and y'all tell me, did y'all see Kara at the wedding? Maybe Kara was still recovering and Kara couldn't make it. I don't know. But I didn't see Kara in none of those wedding scenes. I could be wrong because maybe I missed it. Maybe I didn't see it. I just didn't see her. But Kara's boyfriend, he came back. He had been in Brazil covering the World Cup. But he came back when he found her because she didn't want to tell him. And he proposed. And she said, well, maybe you don't know everything. Before you propose, maybe you don't know everything that went down. I don't have no breast. I mean, I'm going to get some fake ones. They're going to be reconstructed. But I need you to know what you signing up for, because my body ain't going to be what you thought. He was like, honey, girl, I don't give a damn about none of that. I love you for who you are. Which, of course, is the right answer. Ding, ding, ding. There you go. That is Being Mary Jane, the series finale. I really wish they had given it a series finale and given us a whole season. But I get it. For whatever reason we had, whatever's going on over there at BET, what they did, what they didn't do, they canceled it. Then I guess that was the negotiation, was like, we're going to cancel the show, but we will give y'all an ending, which I can appreciate, because a lot of times shows get canceled and you never get any resolution. Just wherever the cliffhanger is where it ends. So I can appreciate that we did get a closure. I just wasn't crazy about just some of it. It overall was decent, but it was nothing that shocked me. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Other than, well, no, that didn't even shock me either. Her having the baby didn't really shock me either, to be honest with you. But yeah. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great one. Let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.